Everybody, Travis here at mudcreek.com. I wanted to do a quick review on the Mountain House Pro Pack. This is the beef stroganoff with noodles flavor. So we're going to talk specifically about this flavor, and what I'll try to do is we're going to cook it up. I'm going to show it to you how it looks in the bag and also in like a bowl, so you can kind of get an idea of the texture and whatnot. I'll also do some quick specs on it and dimensions and whatnot, so you can get an idea for pack weight and pack size. Also, we'll talk a little bit about the ingredients, but not too much. So these are freeze-dried meals. They're great for a lot of things. Some people use them for food storage. This one, the Pro Pack, is kind of meant to be a great one to go in your backpack, because what they've done is they've sucked all the air out of this and made it so it's doesn't take up as much room as possible, so it's a little bit different. One con, and I'll talk about this a little bit later, but that I don't like is sometimes it does bulge down at the bottom. So depending on how you do it, it can make it a little bit bulkier in some ways. But what you can do is if you do just the Pro Packs, you can take another one. So when you're stacking it or packing it in your backpack, they kind of mirror each other well like that. So I don't know if that was an intentional thing they did. I almost wish in some ways, me personally, that they were completely flat and then all the air taken out of it. But I don't think it's a deal breaker by any means. So real quick, just want to talk a little bit about the dimensions. Let's just compare it real quick too to the. So here's a normal size Mountain House pouch, just to give you some perspective. This is obviously a different flavor, but what you typically get with the Pro Packs is about 1.5 servings. With the regular Mountain House, it's about 2 to 2.5 servings, depending on which one you get. So it's just a little bit different. Size-wise, they're not too much different. So you get the general idea there. You're getting a little bit more packaging though with this, and there's a little bit more air in there, just to kind of compare back to back how they look too. So I don't know, but sometimes these actually do pack well because they tend to mirror pretty well, like if you put another one the opposite direction on it. So it's kind of up to you, and depending on how much food you're going to want. I tend to take the Pro Packs more on like backpacking trips, and also like hiking and especially for hunting. I'll throw them in my hunting pack or my fishing pack, and they're great. So it's a little smaller serving, but they're kind of meant specifically for having an emergency pack or whatnot. So kind of gives you an idea. Let me just show you real quick dimensions here. They're just looks like about 8 1/4 tall by about 6.5 inches wide, and then about the depth here, or width, whatever however you're measuring it, but is anywhere between 2.5 to 3, just depending on how you measure it. So kind of gives you an idea. The weight of it's about 4.06 ounces, so it's not terribly heavy. So it makes it a nice little, nice little food source to throw in your pack. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cook this up. I want to show you real quick the back. It shows the directions here on how to do it. So you basically tear this open. We'll do that. One thing you got to remember to do, I always forget to do this, take out the oxygen absorber and just discard that. You don't want that in there with the water when it's heating up. So what you'll do is you'll boil about a cup and 3/4 of water, and then you just dump it in the pouch. And so then you let it sit. You're kind of supposed to stir it up and then let it sit. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll just kind of mix it with my hands, just kind of squeeze the pouch together like this, and I'll show you that for 8 to 9 minutes and let it sit. So what I'll do is I'll get some water going here. This is the Optimus Light stove here. It's a good little stove. So what we'll do is we'll get this going real quick and show you what we're dealing with here. Might be a little low on fuel, so let me show you. Dump some water in here. So this thing has marks on it, which is nice, which I recommend. So that does it by the ounce, but so 16 ounces is 2 cups. So we're gonna go just under that, right there. It's about 1 3/4 or cup and a 3/4. So throw that on there. It's going to cook pretty dang quick too. This thing tends to do a pretty good job. We'll adjust it down a little bit. Throw the lid on. Okay, so I'll get that cooking. We'll come back here in a minute and kind of show you what we've got here. We'll dump the water in and then let it sit and show you what we're looking at. Okay, so this is about done boiling the water. I just want to show you how you open this up. You just tear along this line right here. Sometimes you got to be a little careful you don't tear down into the actual, it's kind of like a Ziploc bag. It's got the resealable. So here's the oxygen, excuse me, oxygen absorber I was talking about. Pull that out. You don't want to eat that. It's not going to taste so well. Sometimes I've forgotten to do that, so something to pay attention to. One thing about the water is, you know, it's kind of up to you as far as preference goes. Sometimes I don't mind a little less water, to be honest with you, because I don't mind some of the crunchy or, you know, I don't like it super runny sometimes. So that's one thing I'll mention. Okay, it looks like our water's about done here. Yep, got a nice rolling boil. And, you know, you probably don't have to get it completely to a boil. I tend to do that, but I'm not sure that's a deal breaker. Just get it pretty dang hot. So you just pull this off. Obviously, be careful. You don't want to spill on yourself and burn yourself here. Okay, so we're going to move this out of the picture. So there you go. And what you can do is you can mix this up with a spoon. Kind of get an idea what the looks like with the water initially in it. And I probably should have showed you that before I dumped it in, so you get an idea what it looks like before. But so mix it up and just seal that up. I mean, if you want, you can leave a little bit of a vent on it if you're worried about it being too hot. But you just kind of seal that up. And another thing you can do, if it's not too hot or if you've got gloves on, it's pretty hot for me right now to the touch because I'm not wearing gloves, but usually if I'm out in the cold or something like that, I'll have gloves on. You can just kind of squeeze it and that'll help mix it up too. But I'd be careful with that unless you're paying attention because it gets pretty hot. Real quick on the ingredients, this is going to be on our website. So you can see they can create the complete nutrition facts. If you want, you can pause it here and read over it a little bit more thoroughly. But that's pretty much it. You know, total fat is 11 grams, saturated fats 4 grams, trans fats 0 grams, which is nice. You know, and you got your cholesterol's 40 milligrams. Let's jump down to carbs. So carbs is 29 grams and protein's 10 grams, so it's not a bad little deal. Serving size is 1 cup, dry mix, so makes 2 servings, so it's 250 calories per serving, so it's total 500 servings if you look at it. So you know, I actually like saying this is about 2 servings. I think they've recently changed that, so looking at a regular one, it's saying that's about 2.5. So depending on which one you get, they're anywhere between 2 servings to 1.5 to 2 servings. I tend to just eat them all in one deal though, because I'm a big guy and I like some decent food. So okay, we'll let that sit and I'll get back to you, and you can see what it looks like when it's ready to eat, and I'll try to describe it as best I can. Alright, so that's been roughly 8 to 9 minutes there, so let's go ahead and take a look at it and see what we got. You might just, let's give it a stir real quick. Okay, so that is the beef stroganoff. That's what it looks like on the inside. Let's see if we can get a little closer here. You know, it's actually a really good flavor. It's one of my favorites for sure. I know with Mountain House, it's one of their top sellers, if not their top seller, the beef stroganoff flavor. It comes in a couple different sizes. It's got the Pro Pack, the regular size like this. It also comes in a family pack. I'm trying to remember how many servings is in that one, but it's quite a bit bigger. And I'll do separate videos on each of those so you can see those and go over them. So that's what it looks like in the pouch. Let's go ahead and dump it out. You can get a perspective of what it looks like in a bowl here and how big it is in a bowl. It's kind of just your standard bowl. Sometimes you just gotta stir it up a little bit more. Let's get the rest of this out of here. A little bit of a too stragglers here. Okay, so, and if you just stir it up again, sometimes you got to break up. That's why I like to kind of pinch it together a little bit and break it up so you can kind of see. So that's what it looks like in a bowl. Hopefully you can see that okay. You know, the noodles, and sometimes if the noodles are too crunchy, let it sit for a little bit, you know, if you don't like that. I don't really care personally. For me, it just tastes good. It's a hot meal on the go, and I like it. So that was about perfect, 8 to 9 minutes. Noodles were perfect. No crunchiness going on. You know, you got some beef, you got a little bit of mushrooms in there, so if you don't like mushrooms, something to think about. I don't really taste mushrooms. I'm not a huge mushroom guy, but I don't really notice them. To me, it has some good flavor. I mean, there's obviously some salt to it and whatnot, but I really like it. I would eat this just normally for lunch or something like that. It doesn't bug me at all. I know some people, you know, wouldn't, but if I was going to have this in food storage, for example, I'd be pretty dang happy with it. If I take this, you know, this is one of my first choices when I go hunting or backpacking is this flavor. So I would definitely go with this flavor. I think it's a delicious flavor. Like I said, I know it's one of their top sellers. It's one of their better ones. You really can't go wrong. It's, you know, it's not too hard on the stomach or anything like that. It's pretty mild. It's pretty soft. So I enjoy it. I would definitely recommend trying it. If you're not sure which one to get, beef stroganoff is definitely one you want to throw in your cart when you're buying these. We sell them at MUDD.com. Come check us out. We have some good deals going on with them. Hope we can help you, and hope this review was beneficial for you. Thanks for checking us out.